gross. Adults making out.
I bet Timmy would think this is gross.
Hey everybody, welcome. Butch Hartman here. We are doing Fairly Odd Flashback. I'm so glad you're here. This is the video series where I watch classic episodes of the Fairly Odd Parents and break them down to give you all the inside stories and some of the reasons why we did what we did back in the day. And the episode we're going to watch today is called The Big Problem. Batman really wanted to watch this episode, right, Batman? He's so angry and so tense protecting Gotham. But he really wanted to see this episode because this is the first episode we made when Fairly Odd Parents became a series, like a legit series. Prior to this, Fairly Odd Parents, I had done a bunch of short cartoons, 7-minute cartoons, where Fairly Odd Parents was featured on the Oh Yeah cartoon show. And I probably did about 10 or 12 shorts pretty much by myself. I had a few people helping me with stuff, but it was pretty much just a one-man show over there when I did those episodes. But then they picked up Fairly Odd Parents as a series, and we began making it in a legitimate way. So The Big Problem is the first episode we ever did. And in this episode, Timmy Turner wishes for what I think a lot of kids would wish for if they could, to be older. You know, when you're a kid, you can't drive, you can't watch certain movies, you can't do certain things you want to do that all the other adults can do. And Timmy thought it'd be a great idea to wish for himself to be older. So we thought that'd be kind of funny. There's a lot of comedy there. And of course, in typical Fairly Odd Parents fashion, things don't go the way they're supposed to. So without further ado, let's watch this episode of the Fairly Odd Parents called The Big Problem. And Batman's getting excited. Here we go. Ready, Batman? All right, we work the machines properly. Now, I won't watch the title sequence because we'll watch the title sequence another time. Obtuse, Rubber Goose, Green Moose, Guava Juice. We all know that. We'll break that down some other time. All right, so here we go. We're going to watch the episode now.
Yeah, right.
Now, I drew this title card. That's my artwork there. And I probably drew this back in the year 2000. Fairly Odd Parents premiered as a series March 30th, 2001. And this is the first episode that hit the airwaves. This was written by my friend Steve Marmel. I helped him with the story, but he definitely wrote the script. And storyboard was done by myself and a guy named Bernie Pedersen. Bob Boyle was the art director. And we were all just trying to figure out, what the show is, what it looks like, what it should be. So you probably see some stuff in this episode that you might not see in later episodes, like just the way the characters look. They were still evolving. Voices sound a little different, a little younger. Everybody was just pretty much brand new at this point. And directed by myself and a gentleman named Jaime Diaz, who was a veteran animation director at that time. And then someday we'll go into what an animation director actually does. We don't work with actual actors on a set. We work with cartoon actors on a cartoon set. That is a whole other video. First drawing of the Turner house that we did in the short cartoons that I did. This is the same house. So we start here.
Ready, Cosmo?
Ready, Wanda? 1, 2, 3. Wakey, wakey, Timmy.
So other dialogue here. Wakey, wakey, Timmy. All that sort of thing. I could have had them do that just over the fishbowl. Timmy, wake up, and he would have woken up. But I figured they're magic. They can do anything they want. So I need more activity. I need more activity in this scene. So I thought, let's turn Cosmo into an alarm clock. Let's have Wanda float him out of bed. Cosmo brushes his teeth, then brushes his ears, things like that. So you want to keep your characters active if you can, especially when they're magic characters. And one little note about the floating, Cosmo and Wanda floating. You might be used to that by now. You may have seen the show. And they float in every episode. I always wanted them just to float and hover like they're just, weightless, kind of like Peter Pan. But I got that floating thing from a character on the Flintstones called the Great Gazoo. Great Gazoo was this alien character that visited Fred Flintstone on a bunch of episodes. And when I was a kid, I'd watch the Flintstones and Gazoo was always floating. That's where I got that floating idea from. All right, so here's Timmy's school. I love that it just says school on the front. I think that's really fun. And, I didn't go to a school look like this, but I do love that retro feel of things. And that's why we kind of wanted to have a design like this. It's kind of got a 1930s look going on here in the front. And these little, sort of stick images in the back with the swing set. And just this driveway where people would pick up their kids and all that stuff. So, And even though the school doesn't look that big, we can make the school as big as we want on the inside. Now this right here, this is the first appearance of Chester and AJ and Francis the bully. And we ended up using Chester and AJ a lot more because Timmy needed friends. When it was just an Oh Yeah cartoon, Timmy didn't have a ton of friends. We didn't really have any friends. It was just Vicky and the fairies, Vicky in the house and the fairies. But once we made it a series, we needed to take Timmy to school. So this is really Timmy's first appearance at a school, and these are some of the first kids we see at the school. So this is kind of a big moment in Fairly Oddparents lore. And we didn't use Francis all that much. We used him on occasion, but Timmy had so many other bullies in his life, we didn't need another one. So we definitely used Francis in a bunch of episodes, though.
Welcome to football tryouts. Listen up for your position.
All right, can you guess who did the voice of the coach? Guess. Any actor in the world. What actor would I have hired to do the voice of the coach? That's right. His name is Butch Hartman. Okay. And
Tailback. Yes, sir.
yes, sir. Who did that voice? Oh, that was me.
Linebacker. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That was me also.
Ball.
Hey, short stuff.
Really, I believe this is the first time that we see Timmy's parents with faces. Because in the original Fairly Oddparents on the Oh Yeah cartoon show, we never saw their faces. We only saw them from the neck down, only saw their hands, saw their feet. So this is the first time ever we see Timmy's dad. I remember at the office, we had a big design contest. Let's design Timmy's parents. And we had all the artists submitted designs, and this is the design that won. I love Dad. Dad became one of my favorite characters.
We're going to the movies.
All right.
Not we're, as in all of us. We're, as in your mom and I.
Darren Norris, who did Cosmo, also does Dad. Great job.
What?
Again, there's a moment there where Cosmo turns into a jackhammer and Wanda turns into a little whisk broom. I could have just had the fairies appear right there next to him, and then Timmy could have made a sad face and go away. But you want to keep the characters active and keep them interesting, keep the kids going, wow, that's cool. And my goal with Fairly Oddparents and any show that I do is to make kids want to watch again. You know, I want to watch it again. I missed something. And make them enjoy it the second time around just as much.
Oh, honey, cheer up.
The great Suzanne Blakesley, who does Wanda, also did Timmy's mom.
Oh no, the babysitter.
Now, this is Vicky's first appearance in the series. And I love this because when Vicky appears, I remember we were joking around in the writer's room. It's like, well, Vicky could have just thrown the door open. But I like the ominous feeling the candle blows out, a wolf, a wolf on a hill howls. Building that cartoon, danger up is so much fun. Because, yeah, you're making a cartoon. Why not take a lot of fun cartoon license and do things like that? That really sets it apart from reality and makes the show a lot more enjoyable, I think.
It's me, Vicky.
Again, the flowers dying, really funny.
Can't spell Vicky without icky.
And there's the catchphrase right there.
We'll be back really late.
I think this is the first and only time Dad wore a coat. We put a coat on him here because we hadn't really figured out his character yet, but I don't think we ever really had a coat on him again. Right, Batman? Batman is so focused on this show.
I'll take care of the little darling like he was my own cash
The great Gray Delisle doing the voice of Vicky. Fantastic.
and blood.
Like he was my own cash and blood.
Have fun at the movies. Bye.
Cheer up, Timmy. You're only...
Again, there's the floating again. And I remember the animation studio that we did this with in Korea. They were such great people, but they had a trouble because back then these shows were done. They were done. These episodes weren't done on cell animation. We had switched to digital at this point, meaning we didn't do the plastic animation cell like Pinocchio or Snow White or something. Up until this point, I think even the Oh Yeah cartoons had done cells, but here we were doing digital, meaning instead of drawing the characters on paper and then hand tracing them onto a plastic cell, we would draw the characters on paper and then scan them into a computer. And then they had to figure out the computer float because it was like a 6 frame up, 6 frame down float. And I wanted a shadow on the bed under them to kind of give them some, tether to, the ground.
When I'm big, I'm going to do what I want, when I want.
This guy looks like Crash Nebula, who we were designing later on.
I'll help little old ladies cry.
I love this little old lady design. It's such a great, weird design.
Thanks, older Timmy. Yay, older Timmy! Timmy.
No, that's the older Timmy we all want to be, I think, right? If I was going to be older Timmy, that's the Timmy I'd want to be. He looks great in the pink shirt, too, by the way. I wonder where older Timmy is now. What would Timmy look like now? Did he look? Maybe he became Drake Bell. That's really older Timmy. I mean, exactly.
Wish I was older.
And now you think he's going to be older Timmy, but
Well, how do I look?
he is older. He just looks like a lot of people's uncle. I guess is what he would look like. What type of life did Timmy get? Timmy, obviously, I don't think he went to the gym too much. And I don't think he really watched his diet very well. I don't know. Maybe not. I could be wrong.
Look,
Ew.
They're trying to be nice. Ew.
I don't have any hair.
Sure you do. It's here on your back.
There you go. We worked really hard on this painting right here. I said I just want to go to a close up of a painting of what the most horrible back hair painting we could possibly come up with. We need to make a T-shirt of this or something, I think. Right, Disembodied Voice?
For the back.
For the back, right, and wear it on your back, like the back of a T-shirt. Let's get on that. Somebody make that.
According to the rules, fairy godparents only grant wishes to kids.
Aha! Look at that. See, so we came up with a fun wish, but then we had to, put the kryptonite in there with the rule book. That's why I love the rule book. There's always some wild rule we can turn to make the story a little bit more interesting, which is a fun part of writing. So always put like a problem the characters got to get over.
Let's go do adult stuff.
Okay. Like what?
Driving.
And it cut so quick there. I should have said driving, got the G out and then faded. But I think I was trying to move the show too fast. I mean, the show still plays well. And I haven't seen this episode in years and years because it's funny, when you work on a show like this, you work on it for 10 months. The writing, the storyboard, the character design, the acting, the editing, the music, everything. You get it. You watch it like maybe dozens of times, then it goes out the door. Then you move on to the next episode. So I don't really sit and watch my shows on a regular basis. So I really haven't seen this show in a long, long time. Now, 24 years later, as I film this video, I would have most definitely, changed a few directing things. I would have slowed a few things down, maybe sped a few things up. It is moving really quick. And I wanted to move things along really quick because, to me, a lot of cartoons at that time moved kind of slow, just in my own judgment. So here we go.
Ew, gross. Adults making out.
I bet Timmy would think this is gross.
It's the first time we ever saw Mom and Dad kiss. I think the last time, too. He's going to shave in a bathroom in the movie theater, I think, because there's a urinal on the wall. I don't think it's a home bathroom, so unless he has a urinal in his home bathroom, I don't even know.
I've got an idea. Maybe if you ate some...
Turning them into like little bugs or little moths. It's fun because they're fairies. They can turn into whatever they want. I thought instead of just keeping them as their normal selves, you saw through this whole sequence, they were a pair of dice in the mirror, and they were, now they're little moths and stuff. It was just fun to start changing them into things, which I really love, which is kind of cool now because there's so many pink and green references out there in life. People go, oh, it's Cosmo and Wanda. So hopefully that helped create some of that.
What's this?
The bill.
That goes to my parents.
Very amusing, sir. That'll be $265.
Can you guess who did the voice of the waiter? That's right. It was the voice of Mr. Crocker, Mr. Carlos Alazraqui. Carlos did the voice of the waiter before Crocker really became a character in the show. We made Crocker a major character in the show about 4 episodes later from this. So Carlos was a friend of mine. I knew him. And I just gave him some bit parts here and there because he was so funny. And then we gave him the part of Mr. Crocker after that. So Timmy's realizing now that being an adult is not all it's cracked up to be because he can't turn to his parents for the money. He's got to pay for it himself. But he has no money because he doesn't even have a job. Vicky has no idea who he is. He's not Timmy. He's an adult. And when an adult bursts into some other adult's house, it is just plain creepy. So Vicky was right to defend herself there. We just had a bird, I think, pass away right there in the show. I don't think we can do that now. Just at the sound of Vicky's name, things pass away.
He's gone. Something could have happened to him.
Like, I love the panic here. We changed everything to red. Vicky's in a red palette of color, and then we have the red background.
Worse! Something could happen to me!
Aw, look at that big orange basketball-shaped head of his sleeping. Good night, Timmy.
Well,
We have the basketball sound right there. Oh my gosh. Do you guys like Timmy's parents? Let me know. I love this because we cut to the football field. And I think, is that a hole in the football field where Timmy got slammed before?
wishes I can't sleep in my own bed.
Yeah, that's where he got slammed before. And he had the big piece of the football field on his head. So we kept the hole in the football field.
Ouch! Ow! Cut it out, Francis. That's my only head.
Now, that voice you're hearing right there, can you guess who did the voice of Chester? Who did the voice of Chester right there? Do you know? Famous actor. That's right. It was Frankie Muniz. He did the voice of Chester for probably the first season, I think. First season. And then he got, Malcolm in the Middle was a big show at the time, and it got kind of hard to schedule him. And but Frankie could not have been nicer. He was just the greatest guy. And I would love to work with him again someday.
Very grand for Cosmo and Wanda.
Also, Carlos Alazraqui, the little fairy bellboy there.
I wish I had some fairy godparents to knock around instead of this stupid doll.
Do you know who did the voice of that kid? Trivia. It was Butch Hartman. That's right. I've not seen that character in so many years. This is based on Sid from Toy Story. Man, I wish I had some fairy godparents to knock around instead of this stupid doll. I think we even sped my voice up a little bit too. Of course, again, that's 25 years ago. You know, Timmy's older now. Now it's cracked up to be. They're getting reassigned. Timmy's learning that he's on the run from the cops. Vicky kicked him out of the house. It's a lot of things going on here, and Timmy can't wish himself back because he's not a kid. What is going to happen?
Hey, what if I acted like a kid again? I could wish myself back to normal and you guys wouldn't have to leave.
There's a lot of story here. We crammed a lot into this 11 minutes.
Ow, my back!
Let me try the age-o-meter. Kid, adult. Oh no! You've become even more of an adult!
That's just plain creepy.
Guess who did the voice of that dad? That's right, Mr. Butch Hartman. Now, Vicky's not trying to find Timmy because she is caring about Timmy. She wants to save her own skin. And that's another story element in here. Vicky's trying to find Timmy. Timmy's parents don't know he's gone. Timmy's trying to find his inner child. And we're still not even at the 11-minute mark yet. Every one of these episodes is 11 minutes long, so we have 2 per half hour. But yeah, there's just a ton of story in here. And I hope you guys can appreciate that because we really try to give you as much entertainment as we possibly could. This thick black line around the characters and around the set pieces and everything, I was really trying to, I really love that thick black line look. We hadn't really figured it out yet, so some of the scenes are thicker and some are thinner, but we're still trying to find our way. You'll also notice that this episode is not in HD, high definition yet. It's still in the standard resolution that it was at the time in 2001.
Been so happy to see you in my... Actually, I've never been happy to see you.
And that's Tara Strong. She had to go from doing Timmy young to Timmy old in the same episode, and it was the first time she ever recorded Timmy. I neglected to mention that earlier. Tara did a killer job on this, doing young Timmy and older Timmy.
You are one creepy adult. We got a place for guys like you.
Home?
One.
They turn into a toilet and a sink. Cosmo's the toilet. That was nice of him to do that instead of making Wanda the toilet, you know. So during all of this, Timmy is being told now that the fairies have to leave. They got to go. He's losing his fairy godparents. This is episode 1. And how are we going to get him out of this? I'll tell you how.
Parents, this stinks. I don't want to be an adult yet. I want my mom and dad.
Remember reanimating that jump. The original animator didn't do it right, so I had to reanimate the action of the jumping. I remember that now as I watch that. I hope you guys like that.
Oh, Timmy!
Quick, make a wish.
I wish I was a kid again. I'm puny again. Woohoo!
Now, we could have made him a different kid, too. I wish I was a kid again. And we could continue the story, make him another kid. But we didn't have enough time.
And we get to stay with Timmy.
In your face!
Funny.
What happened to that big, fat, creepy bald guy?
Also, Butch Hartman, the cop. What happened to that big, fat, creepy bald guy? Look at those the designs of those criminals in the background. I really like that. They're a little too stylized, but we were trying everything back then. But I mean, I don't mean too stylized in a bad way. I mean, just a little too stylized. But the great thing about that, as background characters, they really work because it makes the foreground characters, the main characters, come forward more. So they're there to add atmosphere, but not really focus on, which I really like.
We want our mommies and daddies too!
Being a kid rocks.
You're just
They turn into birds. Very cute. We're wrapping things up now.
shrimp. A puny little shrimp.
I sure am, Francis, and I'm not in any hurry to grow up. Best of all, I got all my hair, and none of it's on my back.
I got on my hair, and none of it's on my back. I'm not saying back hair is bad, but you know. And I like on this title card, the end, created in Hollywood, California, USA. I saw that in a bunch of cartoons when I was a kid. I thought it'd be kind of fun to put on there. I think we put it on the first few Fairly Odd Parents episodes, but then we just stopped doing that. But anyway, that's the big problem. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really had a great time watching this again. I have not seen it in years. Again, there's things I would change drawing-wise. I would restyle a few things. Some of the characters, I would slow some of the timing down.
Was that like a risky move to have like the first episode not have Timmy in his like original design?
Yeah, that's a good question. My disembodied voice off camera here asked, was it a risky move on the first episode to have Timmy Turner not be in his original design? I guess it was kind of risky in a way, but I just thought it was funny because he was still Timmy, and the kids at home see him as Timmy first, and then to wish himself into an adult body. I still think the kids knew. I think the audience knew that it was still Timmy. So I would say maybe risky, but it didn't bother me because it was funny. If it was funny, funny always won. And whatever we wrote in the episode in the writer's room, if it was funny and the funniest thing we could think of, that was the winner. So I think that we thought it was just funny. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Let me know which other episode you want to see me flash back on. We got a million of them. And we can also do Danny Phantom. We can do Tough Puppy. My show Bunsen is a Beast. We can do the Fairly Odd Parents movies. We have a lot to look at. So whatever you're curious about, let's do it. I'll see you guys later. And until then, Batman, anything to say? Batman is, I gotta talk to him. I'm scared too. Anyway, have a great one. You guys have been magic.